So everyone talks about manifesting the future, but almost nobody realizes you can also manifest your past. And listen carefully, because if you don't understand this, you'll always struggle to change your reality. The past only exists as memory, and memory is not fixed. It's a story your mind is telling you right now in the present moment, which means if you can rewrite the story, you rewrite the history. And once the history changes, your identity changes, and your future has no choice but to follow. That's the hidden key to manifestation most people will never discover. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about how I, with my clients, rewrite their pasts so that they change their future. My name is Chris, and I work with all sorts of people, business people, actors, athletes, you name it. And we focus on changing their identity so their life changes. My program is called Reality Masterwork. If you would like to be coached by me, link is in the bio. But today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about how you are always in the now moment, why the past and the future does not exist, and why in some cases manifestation is actually worse off by only focusing on the future. And most people do that with their manifestations. And then we're going to talk about how to change your entire life circumstances, the directions you go in, and where you come from. Very exciting. And when you do this properly, you can change your life in a few days. I've seen this multiple times. So let's do it right now. You only have a moment, this moment, right now. You have never been in the past. You've never been in the future, right? You cannot visit either one of them. There's only one moment, always, that your consciousness is focused on. This moment, and this moment, and this moment. And what you invite into this present moment, the now, is what you get to experience. What you invite into the next present moment, if we were to call it that, is what you assume will happen. So Neville's law of assumption is, what do I bring to the table internally? What have I shifted my consciousness on to, my awareness to, so that I, in this next present moment, can experience something new? And that's why you do not move through time, time moves through you. If you really need to have a visual representation of it, you stand still, and the images being shown to you are just moving through you, depending on how much you are in this present moment, or how much you are in the imaginal realm, where you think, you feel, you daydream, whatever you do. But most people, they are not very much in the present moment. And that is actually why the present moment is not fulfilling for them. But this past, right here, let's write it out, and this future, they do not exist. Both of them should have a red line over them, because you cannot go there. The past, it is simply something that used to be in the now in terms of this reality. And the future is something that you would like to replace this now with. But you're always experiencing it now. And the things hurting you from your past is things you are experiencing now. There is no other moment than this now. And to say that the past exists, it really doesn't make any sense. It is experience that you bring into this present moment in terms of bodily sensations, feelings, thoughts from your parents, etc. But what that also means is that when we try to manifest stuff, and when we try to capture a future that we would like, we are really just saying, I don't have what I would like in this present moment. And you're also doing that when you are hurting by thinking about something from your past. So what we would need to do is to change both of them. Simply, what would I like in this present moment? What would I like in this present moment? Not what is holding me back, not what is why I'm struggling, not what used to happen to me, because realize those do not exist. It doesn't make any sense to say that, because everything you say is in this present moment. So if you say, I struggle, it's an affirmation. If you say, I'm bad with money, it's an affirmation. It's an affirmation that you're pulling into this now moment. But you will tell me, I have specific images in my head. I I have things from my past I cannot let go of. Well, you experienced that. I'm not taking that away from you, but your current identity did. And what is really happening when we change your life circumstances, your life outcome, we are also rewriting your past. You do not get to experience it because you have moved on in terms of consciousness. But actually we do. And a way of visualizing this, I will try to do my best. This is not how it works, but it is to give a clear illustration of how does it work. This is your present moment. And right now you are moving in this direction because you believe this over here to be your past, right? So your past is going into you and you are moving in this direction. And you think it is possible for you to have this past and go in this direction. But actually, it is always a new timeline. Every time you make a decision, every time you change yourself, you are recreating your entire life. So, what you are doing when you're trying to do this is you are hindering this from happening. Every time you connect to this path, you are just realigning with your old timeline. So what we would need to do is find some faith in that every time we go this way, there are stuff in our past that was different. And so this is actually what we're doing. And by not manifesting like this, which a lot of people would tell you to do, visualize a new future, but just keep on adding, like just keep this. You can just do like this. You can change both directions of your manifestations. And when we create a new image of the past, this future does not need to be modulated. And we will talk about some practical example, but you could choose to invite your past in. You could choose to say, yeah, but it gives me the fuel I would need for my future. Let's just use the examples. Yes, but be very careful because you need to believe that story. Obviously, Tony Robbins includes a tough childhood in his story. But notice how he writes that story very specifically so that his past aligns perfectly with his future success. But most of you will take this past and put it in the direction of meaning, yeah, so I will get the same future. So the directional outcome of your past is very important. If you put it into the present moment thinking that it's hurting you, it will hurt you. You are including hurt into your now moment. This is your manifestation. So if you include, well, it made me a success, it will be in this now moment. But this now moment entails every possibility that you get to experience. And what you include in this now moment will be shown to you, because in that now moment, you are still in this now moment, but you are changing direction from this to this. And this is why people say manifestation is instant, because you are on that timeline, in that moment where you choose to. But obviously it's not in that present moment in this physical reality. So even though it's hard to explain, visualize it like you are changing the direction of the compass every time you change yourself. And that's why you can feel very good in yourself. You can actually feel very abundant when changing to the abundant frequency. So it's not, well, I don't see it yet. It is, I just changed to it, right? I included it in my now moment. And by doing that, I will also get to experience it in this physical reality. One final point before moving on with the examples and the exercises is that what you should not do is it included in that future moment and then go back and keep adding to this moment or this moment. Realize you can always shift back. You can also always shift to something else. You are shifting all the time, and that's totally okay. But if you have a very clear goal of what you would like to have in this now moment, be sure to include it in this now moment. It is this now moment that is all you ever have. And this is this now moment where you are manifesting. So, a practical example. I had a few that I wanted to write out for you. Yes, let's take some of them. Let's just let the iPad go to the side, and let's just talk, you and I. I had a client change his economic environment. I won't say the numbers because they're too crazy for you to believe them. But what we did, and he's a funny guy, and he was totally in on this. Instead of visualizing a great future, we visualized a great past. So we took his past, parents who were not well off, and made them very well off. We made it so that he grew up very lucky. We made it so that everything that would mean a rich now moment was so. So we spent 80% of our time together, me and my client, working on his past memories. What could we include sentences, people telling him stuff, him seeing stuff, moments in his past that would mean that he was very rich today. And then the only thing we did after that was include some in this present moment self-talk that would emphasize this. So I will go on to the next example, but this exact example we'll talk about more in an exercise later in this video. The same thing with changing your illness history. So if you have an illness and you can choose to manifest losing that illness, why not instead choosing to manifest never having that? And that is rewriting your past moment instead of your future now moment. So what you will do is you will find the moment where you realized that you had this illness. And that is also what my client did, another client. And instead of getting that, not getting it. Simple. And then telling himself every time symptoms showed, I'm so grateful I never had this. And then he stuck with that perception. And it took no more than 10 days before the symptoms started disappearing. And I'm not saying this could happen for everyone. I'm just saying manifestation in the past is as powerful as manifesting in the future, if not more powerful. Because you're not including the luggage you brought, the luggage that is so heavy that it's keeping you down. Because sometimes these two histories on either side of you, they are so very unaligned. And a lot of people will tell me that also in the comment. Maybe you can recognize this, that how can I get to this when I have this behind me? Well, I'm here to tell you, then change what you have behind you if you cannot include it in your future moment. Most of you will be able to include it. You will tell a story about how you came from this to this ideal future, and that's fine. You're not rewriting moments that you do like. You're taking elements that is hurting you into this present moment. So how to apply it? Let's talk about a specific exercise. Pick a future you would like. Any future. I don't care if it's money, health. I don't care if it's a career. I don't care if it's a person. And then see if you can pick a past imaginal memory that entails this. That past memory, that would actually mean that you had it already in this present moment. See if you can find it. And you can change a scene or you can change a perception about that scene. So if your dad or mom or whatever told you something and you had a perception towards that and that is what is hurting you, you can keep that moment but go back to that moment and change your reaction to that moment. Tell yourself, he's telling me that because he loves me. She's telling me that because she cares about me. And notice really how that changes you in your present moment. You are rewriting very deep coding inside your system. If you have a memory that hurt you and you decide, go back to that moment and change your reaction to it. Change how you did not react to it. So you can change your perception about that scene if you would like to include the scene. You can also, however, change the scene. Try both and see how that really can affect you at a deep core level. And spend some time in this, all right? And then build a house of faith. We also talk about this, right, in most of my videos, and I do this with my clients. So how can we build a house of faith around that past as well? How can we build new solid barriers? I only believe in this about myself. And I've written down a few. that you can say to really include that past moment in your present environment. So you can say, good thing I was always, yada, 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 right? So if you picture yourself growing up rich, right, you can include every time you are about to go into the perception, I struggle with finances or whatever, you can include, good thing I was always rich, right? And stick to that perception. You don't have to do it for very long. Another one, thanks for making my life this way. I love affirmations with thanks because they really entail some gratefulness and they really tell your system that that is only possible to say when you have it, right? So you're not saying thanks for making me rich right now, but thanks for making my life this way, which includes your entire life. Another one, I choose to always live in. So that is a decision in the present moment instead. And it's different for different people on how these works. But some would like to, they cannot let go of that memory they have. So now with their newfound knowledge, they just know, well, I can just change that. But I'm actually choosing to change that. So I choose to always live in this new reality I'm making for myself. So every time they are being reminded of that old, they say, I choose to always live in abundance. I choose to always live in love. I choose to never live in struggle, whatever that is for you, right? So it's a decision. And you know it in that present moment. Every time your thoughts is from old you, your emotions is from old you, well, I choose to live in this moment. And this rewriting the past, obviously there's a lot of it in the works of Neville Goddard. If you have not read it, read it. And it will really change your business, relationship, health, career. It doesn't matter. You can include it. And you can go crazy with it. It's a matter of your belief. And when I say belief, it's a matter of your knowing. You get to know it as if it's your age. You don't doubt it. You don't doubt that creating a past memory in an imaginal scene is just as real as any imaginal scene that you have in your head. I know some of you will have a hard time, yeah, but it's not real. Well, it is real. If you can visit it in this now moment, you are including it in your now moment. That is how reality, this 3D reality, is created. It is the observance. You are observing specific, imaginary things. And by doing so, collapsing those waves into particles. Consciousness is solidifying by where you focus your attention all the time. Right? Write that down. Your world, your solid world, is what you focus your attention on. So it's liquid. It's like water, ice, damp, whatever you call it, right? You are taking that, the unseen, and you are believing in it. And by doing so, you are solidifying it. You are taking it all the way from steam, damp, whatever you call it, all the way to ice. Really solid reality that you can feel. Right. Now, I've coached a lot of people, and I've seen this work with most of my clients. The reason why I say most is because not with all my clients I use past revision because it's not also always relevant, and it depends really on how traumatized are you. What are there also elements in that past that you would like to include? Is it not relevant to visit that because it's not affecting your future? It really is a matter of preference if you would like to include it in your arsenal of manifestation methods. But it's really powerful. And I hope after this video you'll give it a shot. And yeah, if you want to get coached by me, link is in the description. If you don't, then still maybe subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we will talk soon another time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very grateful. Get out of here. Bye.